We live in a time of truly unprecedented change, and the data shows that the rate of change is actually increasing, like up, up, up. And there's no more daunting technology to sales than artificial intelligence. Is it good for sales? Is it bad? What does it mean for me? The answers to these questions are obviously pretty complicated and not entirely straightforward. But what I can say with total confidence is that there will be some people who will benefit greatly, and then there will be others who will just be dead. And the data suggests that artificial intelligence will actually start to make a big impact on sales and selling in just a few years. But actually, it's already here and it's already making changes. Do you want to get in on the winning side of these changes? I've spoken to some of the world leading experts in this topic, and I want to share with you how you can use these changes that are going to happen one way or another to your advantage. In this video, I'm going to show you how artificial intelligence is changing sales and selling right now. Check it out. Number one, we now know what really works. There are a number of companies that are already utilizing artificial intelligence to analyze sales data. I mean, this is mind-blowing changes. And one company that's really leading that charge is a company called Gong.io. And they are using artificial intelligence to analyze millions and millions of sales conversations, then running it through the artificial intelligence algorithms and basically pulling out specific conclusions on what's actually working versus what isn't working. What's amazing about this is that this is literally the first time in history that we're starting to be able to know what really does work in selling situations versus what doesn't. For so many years, it was much more anecdotal and much more, I would maybe observe people. But now, because of the actual data from what these companies are doing, we really know what works. I'll give you a couple of examples of what really is working. The first is business-related questions. What the data now shows is that the salespeople that are at the top performers most likely to close business, they're asking about twice as many business-related questions. So that means they're asking about 10 or so business-related questions of their prospects, big picture questions each hour, whereas average and underperforming reps are asking really about half of that, at 6 or so at the most per every hour. So what do we take from that? Start to really ask, and this is something that we've been talking about for so long, but it's so powerful that we really know that this is working, is asking questions that are really those big picture questions. Something that might sound like, George, tell me, what are you really looking to accomplish this year? From a high-level perspective, what are your top 3 objectives? The other big piece of information that we've pulled from these companies being able to really analyze this data is the attention that we pay to the talk versus listen ratio. And what we now know is that top salespeople are doing a lot more listening than average and bottom performing salespeople. Now, I've been telling people for years, you need to be listening more. But now is the first time in history that I actually have truly conclusive data that this is absolutely what you must be doing. And it's really exciting. The more listening you're doing of your prospects, the better. The last piece that's really also quite interesting, something that we didn't really know or expect, was the number of conversation switches in a conversation. What was discovered is that top performing sales reps are really having far more conversation switches with the prospect, where it's more of a back and forth than average and bottom performing reps. Average and bottom performing reps are doing a lot more talking for a long period of time. Therefore, there's not as many conversation switches. So be sure that you don't just drone on and on and on in your selling situations. Instead, be sure that even when you're presenting your solution, you're bringing them back into the conversation throughout. All of these ideas are now completely backed by data as a result of having artificial intelligence. Really, really cool stuff that is going to change the way you're able to sell. Change number 2 is that the bottom of our profession is dead. This is true, this is unavoidable, it's sad, but there's not really much that we can do to help those people who are really at the bottom of the selling profession. The only thing that I could encourage them to do is to get out of that bottom of the profession and work their way up. You know, people who are just telemarketing and pitching these dinky little offerings are just going to be gone if they aren't already. You know, there was a time when someone could make a pretty solid living just being a telemarketer. But there's already technology being built that is going to completely replace all of that low-level telemarketing. In fact, you probably get calls from machines all the time. That technology is going to improve dramatically over just the next couple of years. Now, this isn't to say that cold calling is entirely dead, because cold calling to high-level prospects is absolutely still something that works all the time. But the low-level, particularly consumer telemarketing, is kind of a goner. And there are going to be very few people who are going to be in sales earning, let's say, $40,000 a year. You're either going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars at the high end, or you won't be in sales at all. That's, to some degree, your choice. Which side of that spectrum are you going to be on? Are you going to be the type of person that's going to arm yourself and prepare yourself for some of these changes that are coming? Number 3, if you only communicate value, the machines are coming. Now, this isn't to alarm people, because there's a solution to this. But if all you do in sales is pitch how great your product is, then you're going to be dead, because a machine can do that better and for far less. Already we see in selling today that marketing automation is taking a pretty big slice out of a part of selling that traditionally was done by people. And no longer do we need a human being to do that, because there's a machine that can already do it. But AI is only going to increase and make that shift more dramatic than it already is. You know, it's like my friend at Gong.io, Chris Orleb, recently told me, just communicating value is going to be it's going to be the job of marketing and automation. If all you're doing is talking about how great your offering is, that's not going to last. Great salespeople are going to be the people who create value in their conversations. They're going to build real and meaningful relationships. And those people who do go beyond just communicating value and actually create value, those folks are going to thrive. And so I hope that you choose to be one of those people. And that actually leads to my last point, which is number 4, that value creators are going to be irreplaceable in this changing economy. Creating value requires that you have a deep and meaningful conversation with a prospect. It requires that you use social intelligence and humanity to create a trusting bond that will prompt your prospects and clients to share what they actually care about. You know, people who have the ability to connect with others, to have meaningful business conversations, are going to thrive, because no machine can replace that, at least for a very, very long time, and hopefully none of us are around by that time. But in order to thrive over the next, let's say, 30 years, position yourself to be a value creator, someone who really is having deep and powerful conversations with human beings. Use your humanity to help others understand their challenges and to accomplish their most pressing goals. If you can do that, then you are absolutely going to crush it. And no machine is going to be able to replace you or those types of powerful interactions that you're having. So there is how artificial intelligence is changing sales and selling right now. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have an awesome free ebook on 25 tips to crush your sales goal. Just click right here to get instant access. Seriously, just click right here. Also, if you got some value, please like this video on YouTube, because that really helps me out. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking right here to get instant access to a new video just like this one each and every week.